Always great to have Dr. Jawanza Kunjufu on with us, author of the book Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys and a host of other books. Dr. Kunjufu, it's unfortunate that something like this also brings to light all the violence we're experiencing in Chicago. We talk about mental illness, which we don't talk about enough in our community. Where is this conversation going to go now that we had this terrible massacre, this terrible shooting?
Well, it's unfortunate, like you said, and hopefully this will create a conversation. We have the best government money can buy. And so there's this debate, hopefully, that it's going to be honest this time between the Brady Center and the NRA with regards to, I understand the Second Amendment, but where does it say you have the right to bear automatic weapons? But as you know, unfortunately, Michael, in this world, there are 875 million guns, and 270 million of them are in the United States.
How about
with
that?
6% of the population, and yet we have 31% of the guns. We consume 62% of the illegal drugs, and we incarcerate more people than any other nation in the world.
And it's still not making a difference. The violence is up. We got more gun shops than we do gas stations almost in this country.
You know, I'm glad you said that. We have 130,000 outlets to buy guns, and 40% of the people purchasing guns can do so without a criminal background check.
I know.
So there's a lot of loopholes here.
Why do you think we're so, I understand people want to have their guns. Why do you think we're clinging so much to guns, knowing that 1 in 50 situations is when we're defending ourselves, the other 50 out of the one time we're killing each other, committing suicide, or our kids accidentally shooting themselves? Why don't we want to hear the facts?
Well, you know, it's unfortunate, Michael, that with the election of President Obama the first time, there's been a tremendous increase in gun purchases with the presidency of Barack Obama, which says something about, America's values and what they think of a very good president.
The number of guns skyrocketed when the president got reelected. What about what's going on in Chicago, Dr. Kunjufu? I mean, we got murders, record numbers of murders in Chicago. It seems to go up every year. And this, to me, is just another aspect of that problem. It's just too many guns. It's too much violence. There's a bigger culture of violence in this society. What about that?
Well, as you know, and you used to work here, and we definitely need you back here. I mean, we're breaking a record. It's going to be close to 500 this year. And what's really tragic is that in the wars with Iraq and Afghanistan over 10 years, it was 6,000. In 1 year in America, we kill over 17,000, and Chicago's leading the nation at 500. Now, there are myriad of reasons for this, but the combination of illiteracy, unemployment, and guns and drugs and fatherlessness is a bad combination. I mean, when we talk about the situation in Newtown, Connecticut, here was a mother who, spent some time homeschooling her child, but it was obvious there was very little time spent with regards to God and morals and respect for life, but she did teach her son how to shoot.
Wow. Everybody says, you can't control the guns. The guns were bought legally by his mother, who was a person who was licensed and knew how to use a weapon. I mean, there's no laws that tell people they have to lock up their guns. They have to have gun locks on them. Here, this woman had a child that was clearly had some issues, and the guns are just lying around. People are not responsible enough, and this is what I want to say, everybody listening. It doesn't seem to me that people are responsible enough to have guns. If people were more responsible with their guns, they were locking their guns away, they were putting safeties on their guns, they weren't leaving their guns sitting around the house loaded, they weren't killing themselves and killing each other, then we can have a conversation about why guns are good. But we're not responsible enough in this country to have guns.
And Mike, I know our time is limited, but what I'm concerned about is that as a result of what happened in Newtown, we already have a problem with regards to funding for education. We have a Republican Party that wants to reduce entitlements. And so what I'm fearful of is that we're going to have more schools mirroring prison, where there's going to be more guards, more metal detectors, and yet fewer books, fewer computers, fewer teachers. And as you know, what happened in Newtown, there was a security system in place, even at the elementary level, K4, where he could not get in without ringing the doorbell. So what did he do? He simply shot his way in. There's no way a school can prevent anyone from doing something like that.
Let me just say this to everybody listening, you too, Doc. If this goes by without anything changing, shame on all of us.
Exactly. And in the meantime, and I don't know if George is there with you, but in the meantime, we need to plead the blood of Jesus over our children. We need to monitor their video games that they're playing, the movies that they watch, and the lyrics they're listening to with regards to music.
And we definitely need to pay attention when we see signs of mental illness and stop ignoring it, because somebody saw that this young man had some issues and they did not step in and step up and make a difference.
Exactly.
Dr. Kunjufu, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Michael. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, sir. Likewise.